I look at the stars. They asking me what do I see.
I didn't for Eric on the goddamn system, man.
I look at the stars. They asking me.
I wanted a career in IT, but didn't know where to start. WTU makes it simple with accredited online IT programs that include certifications employers want. An IT degree. I choose W.
Hello, welcome to the Taskmaster Talk with Kevin Phil, and I'm your host, JP John Pod. With me, of course, the star of the show, the former WWE Heavy World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest minds. and bookers ever in the history of the business. The man behind the NWO, the man behind the 83 weeks of dominance. Mr. Kevin Sullivan. Kevin, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. Doing good. Can't complain. A lot of work going on around the house. I know you have the same issue. A lot of shit going on around the house, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The money pit.
Yeah. You can say that again. And I had some, when I bought the house wasn't even done. And then you have 15 years later, you want to do some repairs and update the house, and it becomes a money pit.
Yep. Unfortunately, yep. Always.
Yeah.
But going to look at the other side of the wrestling business, meaning non-WWE stuff, if you look at AEW right now, the ratings aren't very good, but they're adding in another show, so they're getting a Saturday show now, plus they just sold 70,000 tickets at Wembley. How do you kind of explain some of that, like wrestling-wise? Because it's almost like, how do you not do well here, but you do well live at the gate? It's crazy.
Wrestling is really hot. I mean, you see the shirt I got on.
CC Dub. Yep.
Yeah. They run a town every month. They're running 8 to 10 times a month. Neilio and Dan have very good talent, and Dan Lambert's involved in it. They got Bill Alfonso, they got Gangrel, they got a guy named Damien Fetter. I want you to remember that name, that you heard it from me. He'll be in one of the top matches in 5 or 6 years in WrestleMania. I told Damian Priest when I was with Ring of Honor with him, he would be a big star. They have another guy, Cha-Cha Charlie. He's from Panama or one of the Central American countries. And this guy's got something, especially with the Latino crowd. You can't put your finger on it. They bring in I'm getting the Alzheimer's disease. I hope it's just Alzheimer's disease. What's Cody's partner at the
QT Marshall.
Boy, is he a good worker. He is an exceptionally good performer. I saw him have a match with a kid that is actually going to be a referee at AEW, and the size difference was probably close to 100 pounds. They had a believable match. So he has them. He has a girl, Caitlin.
Yeah.
She's one of the best. I mean, I would love to see a match with her and Blanchard. I mean, she's a fabulous performer too. Well, anyway, where I was going with this, they run in Hialeah. Hialeah, where they run, it's in an industrial area. To me, it looks like, there's old motorcycle shops, there's car repair shops. To me, it looks like a laundromat, you know what I mean? Trucks coming in and out all night. But they run in a brewery in the back of the brewery where they make the beer. They average 850 people.
Wow, nice.
And then they have another one, town. They run in Kissimmee. And they do well in Kissimmee, like 400 or 500 people. they run Fort Pierce. Now, Fort Pierce, when Championship Wrestling for Florida, which you know is going to come back, the tapings of the 26th and 27th at the end of the month. Fort Pierce was a very tough town for us back in the day. Now, I don't know if it was because it wasn't that far from Fort Lauderdale, which was a big town for us. It was, if people don't know, Miami's only 25 miles from Fort Lauderdale. West Palm was down the street, so we had West Palm on Monday, Miami Wednesday, Fort Lauderdale Friday. Now, Fort Pierce would be a occasional spot show, and Dusty would go there, Blackjack would go there, Superstar Billy Graham, Blackjack, I mentioned Blackjack, Barry would go there, Ron Bass, Angelo Mosca, Mark Lewin, Rick would defend the title there when he was in for the week. It never really grew, and I think it was because there was so much wrestling around it, the cards were bigger and stacked in those towns that I mentioned. So we never really drew, you know, if we drew 1,000, it was a good house. They weren't hanging from the rafters, right?
Right, right.
They're doing 750 people there. And I asked, you know, I've been there a couple of times. I noticed that there was a lot of people that came every week, but there was a lot, I think 3/4 of the crowd was brand new every week. And I asked, and what it was that's where people got on the cruise ship, and that night they stayed in Fort Pierce. So there was nothing to do, and they advertised in that neighborhood pretty good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they got a lot of wrestling fans to come, but they're doing really well where I'm going with this, and wrestling being hot. But then I started to read something. Have you ever read the book? I got it right here. Have you ever read the book, National Wrestling Alliance, The Untold Story of the Monopoly by Tim Hornbaker?
Yes, Timmy Boy. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a great baseball writer, too. And it told about we had national TV back as far back as 1946 for a short time. And then by 48, they got all the glitches out of it. So the Chicago wrestling was sent across the country, whether it was what they call kaleidoscope, where they actually filmed, send it, rather than bicycled around on a tape. It was filmed on the TV itself. I don't know exactly how. Anyway, that covered all of the Northeast and part of California. And then they got Fred Kohler and Barnett. That's what Barnett cut his teeth to promote. And they were on Mondays and Wednesdays. Then the guy that was actually getting the building to them, his name was Leonard Schwartz. Well, he raised the prices so much they went and found out the building. He became a NWA promoter too in Chicago, and he got Tuesdays and Thursdays. So now you can watch Monday and Wednesday, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Leonard Schwartz. Then Vince Sr. had wrestling from Hartford, heavyweight wrestling, heavyweight championship wrestling from Hartford. They sent that to Chicago, and that was huge across from the Midwest to the Northeast. Then California, wrestling from Hollywood went from the West Coast in most major markets. Then Texas wrestling was called, and that was several. Well, they would draw huge numbers at first on the television stations, right? But, you know, have you ever seen, it's kind of gone out of style, but you would see ads years ago that said, as seen on TV.
Oh, yeah.
The little thing. Yeah. They would do that when they sent the national guys out. Like, Paul Bowser, even though he was a member, he had his own world champion, AWA champion. In fact, the NWA let him advertise for Schwartz. Luthez, Nicole and Barnett, and Don Eagle, and that was a double cross with Gorgeous George. Don Eagle was the world champion, and he was the world champion. Think about this. Bowser had all of New England. His champion was with Al Happ in Ohio. He owned San Francisco, put people in San Francisco, but he owned San Francisco and LA. He also owned So they got to see two different world champions until Lou came and, did that thing where he unified all the titles. Well, they were doing great business, but then the ratings started to slip, and that's how it disappeared off the national TV. The ratings started to slip. Overexposure. Do you think, we always talk about different reasons why the ratings are down, and I think they have if this is an excuse, you can watch it, on any kind of device, right? Streaming, everything else. Do you think there's so much wrestling on TV that it isn't like when there was just the Monday Night Wars where you had to see it, there were the two hottest shows and you had to see it, and people talked about it at the water cooler at work. Now, do you think that maybe there's so much wrestling on TV? And I've asked some friends of mine that are what I call casual wrestlers. They're sheep leaders. They're not Japanese fans. Do you think there's so much wrestling on TV? Some guys, because they're trying to get so many guys on their TV that some guys aren't seen enough. What do you correlate that the ratings are down, but 76,000 tickets? I thought that would be madness, but then I found out. The guy that does the podcast from England, James?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He said something that Vince's program is on a cable system. And a lot of people in the UK don't have that cable.
Oh, so you got to pay extra for it.
Yeah, and they have had as low as 5,000 people watching WWE, which doesn't correlate because the house is right? But he said that AEW was on the regular station at a pretty good time too. So maybe, that we thought they weren't doing it, and good for them. When you go to WrestleMania and you see, what did they have, 88,000 people both each night? And now they got, when it was announced they were going to Wembley, I thought, they're not going to draw the 20,000 people. They got 76,000. Is the card going to announce?
No, nothing.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So
that makes sense, though, about the TV, because I remember years ago, Impact was on a good station at a good time spot, and they used to draw crazy crowds over there. And WWE, wasn't getting a rating, so that makes perfect sense. They're probably on the good TV system.
Yeah, and, so the wrestling, I was thinking about this the other day. We protected wrestling in the streets, whether it was real or not. I'm sure Eddie Graham and those promoters were going in their graves, protect them. If you got in a fight in Florida, as long as you won, they picked up the lawsuit. If you lost, you were going to pack your shit and you were going. Now, we got The Rock. We got Batista. We got Cena. I was just in Canada last weekend, and Cowboy James Storm, he is just in a movie that Clint Eastwood was the director. And for 8 weeks, he got paid mid-7 figures. And now he's going to have a recurring spot on the new, I've never seen it, but Yellowstone seems to be a hot program, right?
Yep.
And they got Oscar breathing, I heard, and then they're going to reboot it, right?
Yep.
He's going to have a recurring thing like this, so look how far wrestling has come. To be really mainstream. And we have Batista when he did the Black Indian, the Onion House, or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yep, I forget the name, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They raised the price. They were talking about him maybe getting up an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. And then Cena just put the rocket for nothing one. Maybe this thing about days and all this, maybe it'll open those doors. And you and I have talked about this. They've got to know the people more. And they're following them more, the wrestlers. They're following the wrestlers more because they know them better. Does that sound logical?
Yeah, yep, they're becoming, movie stars, basically. Knock at the Cabin, by the way, was the name of that good Batista movie.
What was it called?
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, but the one before that, the guy that plays James Bond in it, it had Ed Norton.
What the heck is the name of that? Let me
Seven
check.
Layers.
The Glass Onion, yeah, there you go. Yeah, yep, The Glass Onion. Okay.
He was big. He got great reviews. We all know what the Rock's reviews are and how well he's doing. Cena now is getting shown good luck with him. I like to give him a shout out. He's a great guy. If anybody is really that kind of great, this guy is a true professional wrestler too. He looks the part. I saw any clip of the movie he's doing. Eastwood. The guy's a natural. I could see him being in the same category as Batista. He's muscular, but he isn't over muscular. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like a badass. I could see him play a crazy villain. So maybe we're putting too much emphasis on ratings when they're drawing this kind of money.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like people aren't as interested in watching it on TV as they are seeing it in person. And then it's almost like the podcast, more people listening to it than watching it on TV too. It's weird, very strange.
Yeah.
It's not like appointment television. You don't need to see it because there's a million other wrestling shows on. Oversaturated.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. And the culprit's laying right over there. Sat my phone and she did something, but the ring was off.
Yep.
So here I am, I'm watching YouTube, and I'm watching some shoot interviews and old matches and boxing matches, and I'm on my phone looking at the news. I think attention span is down. But we're going to go to because the other thing I thought about, we were locked in our houses for 2.5 years. It was really very large exposure. I mean, they put them on with no people in this. When football have 5,000 people in stands.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Baseball, we got the season. Now it's like many people say, gee, I want to get the hell out of the house. Oh, this is going to be good. And it's amazing to me because these tickets aren't cheap. So 76,000 out. Then knowing what the card is. It's pretty amazing. And TV knows this. The numbers are down on everything across the board. That wrestling still will draw rather than paying. I've heard, and I could be wrong, have you heard that on the Steinfeld show, each one of them, and I would say that Larry Davidson would be another one that got but Steinfeld, Kramer, George, and Dreyfus, each with $1 million with EnD, that fight.
Great.
So they're buying this show. Probably, I'm sure Larry Davidson on that too. So there's $5 million right off the top, and who knows what else. So if you get $50 million or $80 million worth of wrestling, and get the same better ratings, why would you go there?
Yeah. Yep. It's just crazy the amount of shows. Like AEW is going to add a show on Saturday night with CM Punk and I guess Miro and Thunder Rosa. Bill Goldberg is rumored for that. So I mean, it's just crazy. Like, okay, we're going to have a Saturday night show now. Holy cow! Every night of the week we're going to have a wrestling show on. Come on.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you a question because I have no idea. Now, Impact, that is owned by the TV station itself, am I correct?
Yep.
Now, Impact is NBC, right?
Yes.
You know, you look back at these numbers were pretty good. You know, when they got 2 million people.
Yeah, back when Hogan was there, yeah. Yep.
So, how did that fall? Is it? I don't think I did. At one time I did. That was Impact was on Access.
Yeah, Access TV.
Yeah, I used to get that because they had the Japanese wrestling. I got to use sports commentators. I haven't really looked at it, but I didn't see it on there. So I mean, have they kind of, do they tour as much as they used to?
So now they hired Lou D'Angeli, who was actually signed Guy Dudley in ECW. They signed him to work for Cirque du Soleil and a bunch of other companies doing like live events. So they hired him, and now they're touring a lot. Australia, Canada, who signed more than they were doing. Kentucky, like North Carolina, St. Louis, like now they're going all over the place after they hired him. So I guess he's coordinating all these big shows, but they're touring a lot now more than they used to. But they only draw about 100,000 per week on TV.
Wow.
Come get it! Come get it!
But that's the top-rated show on the network. So it's like the network's not as popular, but they're the only ones that draw for the network, and 100,000, I guess, is they're happy with it.
So maybe that's why I don't get it. You know, it doesn't make sense to put it on the live program that I bought. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Amazing. It was a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, to me, it's just crazy because if you really look at it, it's like, okay, Sunday nights, there's wrestling on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, too, pay-per-views aside, there might have been an AEW show. So it's like, holy crap, every night. There's wrestling, it's nuts.
I'm waiting for AAA to get a program on.
Did you know that Conan recently said, and I actually just interviewed Dorian Roldan, who's the director general for AAA, they're actually trying to get television, and I guess it was not lowballed on the deal, but the deal wasn't what they thought it should be for them, and they basically said, like, oh, you guys got to prove yourself to an American audience, so they didn't get the good money up front, but what they might end up doing is taking a lesser deal, proving themselves, and then getting a bigger deal somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll mention you more than once. Conan does not get the recognition he deserves. I know that I relied on Colin a lot because he was the one that told me this. Let me give you a little bit of history. When I started wrestling, I was wrestling, and they weren't called independents, right? They were called outlaws, right? But I used to wrestle in Montreal. That's when the Rougeaus, there was two companies, the Rougeaus and the Vachons had wrestling in Montreal. But on Sunday, there was a gentleman named Pat Gerard, who wrestled with Pat Curry, who was a huge star. He used to wrestle 10, 12 times a week in London alone. He had a chauffeur, Rolls Royce, but he trained a lot of guys. Ronnie Garvin, Terry Garvin, Scott Patterson, Bernard Frechette, Joe Pizon. And they allowed him because they had so much respect for him. And I actually started there. Then I wrestled in Brooklyn, 234 Broadway in Williamsburg. I was the only angle in the gym. It was Morales would come by and work out once in a while, but they run shows and they had Johnny Rod, they had Ramon Perez, they had Isaac Rosario, they had a young Victor Rivera, they had a bunch of guys, and Vince let them Western. So when I was through wrestling, or if I got in the night before, I would go and see wrestling with the Blue Demon, El Santo, Matt Garrett, a host of others. So I always liked the luchadors. And I was probably, if you had to wrestle in Mexico, up in Boston, I don't think many people saw it. And then when I went to Denver, when I first got to WCW, and I saw all the Mexican flags, I was shocked because, I figured it was only the Southwest, Southwest in California. So I went to Conan and I said, hey, I'd like to. First guy you mentioned was Rey Mysterio. And Conan, people forget, Conan was over in Mexico like Hulk Hogan was here. He was big out. And because of Conan, he opened the door for us. And we got the great cruiserweight. I actually created the cruiserweight. I did away with the junior. I did away with the junior heavyweight title and made the cruiserweight, right? I'm watching a fight back, an old Holyfield fight, where it says cruiserweight champion, and I knew he was. So I didn't even realize they still called it junior heavyweight when I had done away with it. So Conan was very instrumental to bringing the success of WCW because he brought in people that changed our style and introduced me to the United States that people had never seen. And he didn't get the credit he deserves. A lot of that happens to a lot of guys.
Yeah, definitely. He played a big role. But today, the topic I wanted to talk about, topic at hand, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah, we'll really focus on the WCW run, because it's a great run, and that's actually where you wrestled him. But where did you beat him first? Where did you beat Macho Man first?
The first time I ever met Randy Savage.
Deep Dive Podcast of Macho Man, 22K.
Out of bounds.
They used to run hamburgers or what else? Ready? No.
Allentown.
I don't know which one was first. Do you know which one? One was.
I think it was Flashy Sis.
The other one.
I'm not sure which order, yeah.
Well, I had stayed over.
I can't follow out though.
The hotel I stayed over at, everybody stayed there. And I was sitting down.
Come on, let's go.
And Randy walked in with Angelo. And they sat down with Vince. And I guess because Randy and I were the same age, Vince waved me over, introduced me to Randy. Randy was there with a mask on because he was playing baseball. Cincinnati Reds. You know the story about him breaking his arm, right?
Yeah, so he's such a nut, told himself to throw a lefty, yeah, yep.
10,000 balls a day.
Oh, what a nut.
Yeah, he was really obsessive compulsive. And then, later on, they came into Knoxville, that Plan B, right? And that's when the guys from Knoxville broke away from Ronald, and they joined up with the Papos. And I'm going to an outdoor show, and they're running an outdoor show, and I pulled into it, and they were all paranoid, because I had Tony Charles in the car and Les Thornton, 100 students. And I think they thought we were trying to break up the show, and I remember Lanny running up to the car going, Savage just bench press 405 today. I said, okay. And I explained to him, hey, sorry, I thought I asked this was before GPS, and I asked him when wrestling was important out. I said, I'm not here to be involved in the show. You just made a mistake. Yeah. 10 minutes down the road, blah, blah, blah. I said, have a nice show. And then later on, maybe 6 months later, I'm at a bodybuilding show. I was the East Tennessee Championships. And I was in the open contest, and Randy was in the novice one. And I showed Randy how to paint in his abs. So Randy and I knew each other for a very long time. Yeah. And we became very, very good friends.
Who did better in the competition, you or him?
I was in the open one, which means that I had qualified for the higher competition. I won that one. I think he placed second in the novice.
Wow.
Yeah. We didn't compete against each other because I had won a contest. And if you won a contest, you went to the open.
Gotcha.
Well, you placed first, second, or third. So Randy, the next contest, if he entered, it would have been an open. Yeah.
Did you run into him like through the years at all? Like, obviously he's in Memphis. I mean, he's going to ICW. He's going to all these different places. Did you run into him before WWF at all, or no?
Yeah, I actually worked in Memphis. I think I told you the story when Jerry broke away from the NWA office.
Yep.
The NWA members were split, like the Sheik sent guys and himself to Nick and Eddie and the Watts. And then when I went to Denver, when I first, gentleman's name was Pat Garage. He wrestled as Pat Curry in New York. He was a huge star. He used to wrestle 10, 12 times a week in London alone. He had a chauffeur, Rolls Royce, but he trained a lot of guys. He trained Ronnie Garvin, Terry Garvin, Patterson, Bernard Fichette, Joe Paisan. And they allowed him because they had so much respect for him. And I actually started there. Then I wrestled in Brooklyn, 234 Broadway in Williamsboro. I was the only Anglo in the gym. It was, Morales would come by and work out once in a while, but they run shows, and they had Johnny Rods, they had Ramon Perez, they had Isaac Rosario, they had a young Victor Rivera, they had a bunch of guys, and Vince left them. Vince Sr. let them work it. So when I was through wrestling, or if I got in the night before, I would go and see wrestling with the Blue Demon, El Santo, No Mascaras, a host of others. So I always liked the luchadors. And I was probably, if you had to wrestle in Mexico, and I'm up in Boston, I don't think that many people saw it. And then when I went to Denver, when I first got to WCW, and I saw all the Mexican flags, I was shocked because, I figured it was only in the Southwest, South and Southwest, and California. So I went to Conan and I said, hey, I'd like to bring first guy he mentioned was Rey Mysterio. And Conan People forget Conan was over in Mexico like Hulk Hogan this year. He was big out. And because of Conan, he opened the door for us, and we got the great cruiserweight. I actually created the cruiserweight. I did away with the junior. I did away with the junior heavyweight title and made the cruiserweight, right? I'm watching a fight back there, an old Holyfield fight, where it says cruiserweight champion, and I knew he was, and then they had slash junior heavyweight champion. So I didn't even realize they still called it junior heavyweight when I had done away with it. So Conan was very instrumental in the success of WCW because he brought in people that I heard, and I could be wrong, have you heard that on the Steinfeld show, each one of them, and I would say that Larry David would be another one they got.
Oh, yeah.
Steinfeld, Kramer, George, and Dreyfus each get $1 million with EnD. Time that place.
Crazy.
So they're buying a show that probably cost, and I'm sure Larry David did on that tape. So there's $5 million right off the top, and who knows what else. So if you give $50 million or $80 million a year for wrestling, that's going to get the same or better ratings. Why wouldn't you do this?
Yeah. Yep. It's just crazy the amount of shows. Like AEW is going to add a show on Saturday night with CM Punk and I guess Miro and Thunder Rosa. Bill Goldberg is rumored for that. So I mean, it's just crazy. Like, okay, we're going to have a Saturday night show now. Holy cow! Every night week we're going to have a wrestling show on. It's a lot.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you a question because I have no idea. Now, Impact, that is owned by the TV station itself, am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, Impact is in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
You know, you look back at those numbers were pretty good. You know, do they draw 2 million people?
Yeah, back when Hogan was there, yeah. Yep.
So, how did that fall? I don't think I did. At one time I did. That was Impact was on Access.
Yeah, Access TV.
Yeah, I used to get that because they had the Japanese wrestling. I got a new sports package and I haven't really looked at it, but I didn't see it on there. So, I mean, have they kind of, do they tour as much as they used to?
So now they hired Lou D'Angeli, who was actually signed Guy Dudley in ECW. They signed him. He worked for Cirque du Soleil and a bunch of other companies doing like live events. So they hired him, and now they're touring a lot. Australia, Canada a few times, more than they were doing. Kentucky, like North Carolina, St. Louis. Like now they're going all over the place after they hired him. So I guess he's coordinating all these big shows. But they're touring a lot now more than they used to. But they only draw about 100,000 per week on TV.
Wow.
But that's the top-rated show on the network. So it's like the network's not as popular, but they're the only ones that draw for the network, and 100,000, I guess, if they're happy with it.
So maybe that's why I don't get it. You know, it doesn't make sense to put it on the program that I bought. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Amazing. It was a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, to me it's just crazy because if you really look at it, it's like, okay, Sunday nights, there's wrestling on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday too, pay-per-views aside, there might have an AEW show. So it's like, holy crap, every night. Oh, there's wrestling, it's nuts.
I'm waiting for AAA to get a program on.
Did you know that Conan recently said, and I actually just interviewed Dorian Roldan, who's the Director General for AAA, getting a bigger deal.
When I started I was wrestling, so they weren't called independents then, right? They were called outlaw.
Right.
But I used to wrestle in Montreal. That's when the Rougeaus, there was two companies, the Rougeaus and the Vachons had wrestling in Montreal. But on Sundays, there was a gentleman's name was Pat Gerard. He wrestled at Pat Curry in New York. He was a huge star. He used to wrestle 10, 12 times a week in London alone. He had a chauffeur, Rolls Royce, but he trained a lot of guys. He trained Ronnie Garvin, Terry Garvin, Scott Patterson, Bernard Bichette, Joe Paisan. And they allowed him because they had so much respect for him. And I actually started there. Then I wrestled in Brooklyn, 334 Broadway in Williamsburg. I was the only angler in the gym. It was, Morales would come by and work out once in a while, but they run shows. They had Johnny Rods. They had, Ramon Perez. They had Isaac Rosario. They had a young Victor Rivera. They had a bunch of guys, and Vince Lipton. Vince Senior let them work it. So when I was through wrestling, or if I got in the night before, I would know Mascaras, a host of others. So I always liked the league. Oh, I said, I'm not here. I thought, I asked, this is having just bench press 405 today. So, and I pulled into it, and they were all paranoid, because outdoor show, and they're running an outdoor show, and I pulled into it, and they were all paranoid, because I had Tony Charles in the car, and had Thornton in 100 and I think that because I had Tony Charles in the car, and had Thornton in 100 and I think they thought we were trying to break the show, and I remember Lanny running up to the car going, Savage just bench press 405 today.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I thought, I asked, this is before GPS, and I said, I asked them when wrestling was, and pointed it out, I said, I'm not here. They came into Knoxville, that Plan B, right? And that's when the guys from Knoxville went on, and they joined up with the Papos. This run Hamburg and what else that people had never seen before. And he didn't get the credit he deserves. A lot of that happened to a lot of guys. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he played a big role. But today, the topic I wanted to talk about, topic at hand, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah, we're really focused on this WCW run, because it's a great run, and that's actually where you wrestled him. But where did you meet him first? Where did you meet Macho Man first?
The first time I ever met Randy Savage, I was having breakfast. They used to run Spartanburg and what else was they did second? Reading? No,
Allentown.
Allentown. I don't know which one was first. Do you know which one? One was like a Tuesday and the other one was a Wednesday.
I'm not sure which order, yeah.
Yeah, I had stayed over. And the hotel I stayed over at, everybody stayed there. And I was sitting down, and Randy walked in with Angelo, and they sat down with Vince. And I guess because Randy and I were the same age, Vince waved me over and introduced me to Randy. Randy was there doing jobs with a mask on because he was playing baseball. Cincinnati Reds. You know the story about him breaking his arm, right?
Yeah, so he's such a nut, told himself to throw a lefty, yeah, yep.
10,000 balls a day.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was really obsessive compulsive. And then, later on, they came into Knoxville, you know, that Plan B, right? And that's when the guys from Knoxville went on, and they joined up with the Popos. And I'm going to an outdoor show, and they're running an outdoor show, and I go into it, and they were all paranoid, you know, because I had Tony Charles in the car, and that Storm, you know, I mean, and I think they thought we were trying to break up the show, and I remember Randy running up to the guy going, "Savage just said we're 405 today." I said, "Okay." I explained things. Hey, sorry, I thought, I asked, you know, this was before GPS, so I asked someone when wrestling was, and pointed it out. I said, "I'm not here to be involved in the show. You just made a mistake, you know, yeah, 10 minutes down the road, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Have a nice show." And then later on, maybe 6 months later, I'm at a bodybuilding show. It was the
Watchmen was there for
East Tennessee Championships. And I was in the open contest, and Randy was a novice one. And I showed Randy how to paint in his abs. So Randy and I knew each other for a very long time. Yeah. And we became very, very good friends.
Who did better in the competition, you or him?
I was in the open one, which was means that I had qualified for the higher competition. I won that one. I think he placed second in the office.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't compete against each other because I had won a contest. If you won a contest, you went to the open.
Gotcha.
Well, you placed first, second, third. So Randy, the next contest, if you enter, there's an open, yeah.
Did you run into him, like, through the years at all? Like, you know, obviously he's in Memphis. I mean, he's going to ICW. He's going to all these different places. Did you run into him before WWF at all or not?
Yeah,
Remember?
Memphis.
Remember?
I think I go to the state of very takeaway from the NWA office.
Yep.
That's what you mean, I can see.
The NWA members were still like the Sheik sent guys and himself to Nick and Eddie and Watts, and they actually sent Harley to the Memphis show. Harley was in Boston, I believe it was Jared Clark in Washington in the Rock and Roll Express. Me and Mike went up there, and as the World Tag Team Champions, and Dusty came up from Florida, and Zero Bristol did. So it was really strange that the NWA abandoned the lifelong, they were members from 1949, the year after it started. So that was a strange one. But anyway, Randy was up. Then later on, I would go up occasionally and wrestle in Memphis. And I met Randy there. Then I met Randy Winkle. After a little while, I was working weekends. For a while, I was working San Antonio, Puerto Rico, Florida, and Mario Savoli at the same time. And I would just go in Puerto Rico for like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or sometimes on a Thursday. And Randy was over there, and Randy and I hung out together.
When you look at it, though, what did you think of him? Did you think he was like nutty OCD, or did you like him? Did you think like, oh, he's just a wacky guy? I like this guy.
Oh, I really liked Randy. He was a lot smarter than people give credit for. His brother, he was a genius. You know, there's a thin line between being a genius and a madman. And Randy was a very good guy. He had a great job at WCW. You know, I think he gave one TV in 5 years. And, you know, and I really liked it that Randy was a loyal guy, because after him and Elizabeth got divorced, he got her a job at WCW. She had gone through another divorce, and Randy made sure that she got a good job. Not that she wouldn't have been hired, but it showed that Randy was a real good guy.
Yeah, well.
Did you follow when he got to the WWF and saw his ascension? Because obviously he gets there. He's the IC champ. He's the world champ. I mean, he's the main event guy. He's basically, you know, 1A to the Hogan's 1. You know what I mean? So what did you think about his ascension and rise in the WWF?
I thought it was a little strange this way. No knock on anything, but you look back, they used the Memphis guys tremendously. I mean, there was the Moondogs, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Randy, Honky,
yep.
Jimmy Hart. Let's face it, Hulk was there also.
Bam at one point, yep.
David Schultz, who was pushed very hard, spent a lot of time with Hogan in Memphis. David, I believe he was either Tennessee or Kentucky or Arkansas. Mississippi guy. He was trained by one Herb Welch, who was an old-time, big-time shooter. So it surprised me because when I went to Memphis, me and Steve Kerr were like crazy with Tommy Rich when Tommy went back around. And when Steve and I got there, we were kind of horrified because it was completely different than Atlanta and way different than Florida. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They did a lot of comedy spots, but they knew their audience. And we all go for like really, really old for, I mean, an incredible record for drawing that he had. And I really, it surprised me that those guys were put out of their work because they were tremendous. But the thing that I didn't realize was how close there was to both senior and junior.
Meaning charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you look at Macho Man in that run, to me, He's like the second biggest pro in WWF. Obviously, Hogan's won by a while and by a mile, but he's like the number two because they gave him the title in '88, and there was no drop off. I know you still had the Mega Power, still had Hogan and Andre, still you still had Hogan helping, but as champion, there's no drop off. When it goes from Hogan to Warrior, you see a precipitous drop off. So to me, it just shows you like okay, you put Hogan all the way at the top. You probably put Savage second, right?
Oh, definitely. And like you said, I'm sure if you look at their books, there were times that Randy either kept it the same, the houses the same in the big markets, or maybe even if it went down, it was very slight. I'm not going to say that Randy outgrew Hulk, because of that there is no one was going through. But what a great, and I don't think, I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't think a lot of people understood how hard to follow Hulk was. That was all Babe Ruth, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Listen, Randy did an incredible job, but people, he worked so hard to use perfectionist. He worked extremely hard.
To me, and I always give Bret Hart a pass, people are like, oh, he's no Hogan. Nobody is. It's like the Bulls stunk after Jordan left. Like,
Right.
and not that Bret stunk. Bret was still great, but it's just to the point. It's like, come on, you go from like that tippy top, you can't follow. You just can't follow him. There's no. But Savage did a great job of maintaining, at least when he was champ for a year.
I thought he was fabulous. And I thought they could have got more out of their teaming together and especially wrestling with one another.
Really? Even more, because to me, that's probably the best feud ever.
Yeah, I think they could have done a lot more, but, you know, we have heard about the problems, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's almost like I've said this to you before about, you know, the Peanuts comic book. Lucy, you're going to pull the football away from me. You know, the Thanksgiving one they always used to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to pull it from you, Charlie. No, you've done it the last 3 years. You're going to pull it from me. You're paranoid. Goes to kick it. She pulls and kicks a bump. I think that caused some of Randy's paranoia. If they had been... People don't understand it was a completely different business back